It's time for our annual rundown of the top trademark stories of the year, aka Top Trademark Trends of 2025. I'm Eric Pelton, trademark attorney and founder at Eric M. Pelton and Associates. We've been helping businesses protect their brand, making trademarks bloom since 1999. Let's go over some of those key stories from this year. First of all, at the USPTO, initial pendency, the time it takes for an application to get reviewed once it's been filed, has come down even more. This is great news in general. It now takes about 5 to 5.5 months after filing to get a review. However, other filings at the USPTO, like renewals, like evidence of use filings, and other things, are taking longer to get reviewed. And so while one part of the backlog is coming down, other backlogs are piling up, and I hope the USPTO will make a committed effort to work on those in 2026. Also, back in January of 2025 was the launch of the new Trademark Center, new application form, new fees, fee increases and changes across the USPTO Trademark Division. Those are now well settled after having been in use for almost a year. And the new trademark application form is quite an improvement over the old design. However, it now means that the minimum cost for filing a trademark application in one class is $350 because of the disappearance of the T's reduced fee application. Also important to note that this year there has been no meeting of the Trademark Public Advisory Committee, or TPAC. TPAC used to meet approximately quarterly, and the TPAC committee was made up of people from outside the USPTO who would, in a public forum, provide input and counsel and feedback to USPTO officials. And that is something that I think is sorely missed, to educate the public and to provide feedback to the USPTO. One other procedural change at the USPTO this year is that the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board changed the rule for how long you get to file an answer. Used to be 40 days, now it's 60 days. Quickly, let's go over some filing statistics. In the first 11 months of 2025, there were 566,000 applications filed, which is an increase from last year where there were 542,000 applications. Now, a big chunk still coming from China. Over 130,000 of those applications filed in 2025 have come from China, but that's actually a smaller percentage than it was last year. And in 2025, more than 400,000 USPTO trademark registrations have been issued. That's amazing. Scams. Unfortunately, every year we have to talk about scams, and we have to talk about them this year because they are worse than ever. They are coming at applicants and filers by mail, by email, by phone, by text message, and any way possible. And they are sometimes directly spoofing the USPTO and confusing applicants and creating false urgency. Be very careful about scams, and that's another great reason to work with a trademark attorney. Some big cases from the USPTO. Just actually a couple weeks ago, a petition to cancel the Twitter trademarks was filed, alleging that they've been completely abandoned and thus should be filed and taken off of the register. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Our firm was also involved in a pretty big case at the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit involving the Rapunzel trademark and whether the petitioner had grounds or standing to bring the case. And the Federal Circuit said that a consumer of the products who's not a competitor did not have a statutory cause of action or grounds standing for bringing the case. There is a potential that that case will still go on appeal, so we'll have to see what happens. And of course, probably the biggest trademark story of 2025 was the Cracker Barrel logo fiasco. And you may recall they introduced a newer, sleeker, less traditional logo, and the backlash was significant and even included comments from the president. And they reversed course within a matter of days and spent a lot of money on what amounted to nothing, given that they are not using the new logo, and was a big public relations fiasco that actually damaged the value of the entire company and the stock price, and had major ramifications. So those are my top trademark stories of 2025. If you think I missed something, I'd love to hear about it in the comments.